Hi, welcome back to On the Roads. Today we're going to talk about our February budget. And Kimmy, let's take us through the numbers.
Okay, so if you remember back in January, we had overshot the budget. As we said back then, we kind of knew that we were doing that, treating it as a little bit of vacation and therefore using vacation monies. But in the month of February, you'll see how we have offset that and have nearly put us right back on track for our monthly budget. So to help do that, we finished our stay in Guatemala, and we had just a few nights left on our Airbnb. Plus, we had 2 nights at the courtyard in Guatemala City. So that came to, for the remaining Airbnb and the 2 nights at the Guatemala City, that came out to $590.97. But the good news is when we got to San Jose, Costa Rica, we were staying at the Hyatt Regency, excuse me, at the Hyatt Place rather, for 22 nights, and that was all using points. So there were zero charges for our accommodations using points.
Yeah, so we did use a lot of points there, but if you guys are interested in how we earned those points, we have another video, which I'll try to link up here somewhere. And if you're really interested, we have links to the credit cards that we use, and you can get some pretty big bonuses yourself.
So we used 123,500 points for the 22 nights, which works out to a cost per point of 3 cents per point. So that's a good goal to work towards. So moving on to flights, we used frequent flyer points on United and therefore only had to pay tax. So for the two of us, we were at for the airline tickets, $99, and that took us from Guatemala City to San Jose, Costa Rica. So under our general cost in Costa Rica, Doug went to the pharmacy to get a heating pad. He had a little tumble and kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to film and walked off the sidewalk. So,
So there's that. But he got a microwave heating pad. And then in Costa Rica, I got myself a new haircut, which was a first time experience outside of using my hairdresser of 29 years. So that was fun to give him directions on how to style my hair and all in Spanish. So that was fun. And then in Guatemala, we also went to the pharmacy just to pick up some general drugs, Advil, Tylenol, those kinds of things. So for our general spend for both locations for the month is $55.69. Then we moved down to groceries. And apologies, you can tell I'm kind of swinging over to the laptop to look at the figures. So for our groceries, um, we had very little remaining in Guatemala. We only had $8.48 in groceries there. Um, but in Costa Rica, we had a Walmart right across the street from the hotel, and we would get some general grocery supplies, whether it be granola bars or yogurts, tortillas, snacks,
bananas.
and wine for Kimmy. So we spent in Costa Rica $237.77 for groceries. Now, laundry. Laundry's been an interesting experience as we've traveled. It's something that we really didn't think of as we were staying in hotels. When we sign up for Airbnbs, we generally click the box for a washing machine. But in Antigua, Guatemala, I seem to have missed that and had to do laundry locally. Doug, you
Yeah, I had to pack all our dirty clothes into the backpack and walk about I don't know, quarter mile or so up to the laundry. And it was an overnight service. They wash, fold, and give it back to you. It's kind of nice. They dry it in there too.
And then once we got to Costa Rica, we thought, oh, fine, we're staying in a American hotel. They'll have point operated facilities. Nope,
Not so
they
much.
did not. And so we endeavored to find a coin operated laundry facility. And that was a bit of an adventure. We took an Uber, and the Uber driver took us to the address that we thought was where the laundry service was. And it was in an area he knew not to drop us at. So he was very kind and gracious, called his wife, who spoke perfect English, and drove us to a laundry service, was a mile from our hotel.
Yeah, about a mile. And so from there on, I walked up and down the hill to drop off our laundry there. And that was a little more expensive. That was like $20
Yeah,
a
that was
episode.
$19.76 to be precise. So laundry is becoming a thing, but now that we understand that if we're staying in hotels, we're just going to have to pay for laundry service. Still offsets the accommodations when you're using points, so not a big deal. So restaurants. So the good news is when we stay in hotels, the accommodations are via points. The bad news is we're not able to do any cooking in the room, so to speak. Well, we can reheat leftovers. Each place has had a little mini refrigerator and a microwave, whether in the room or down in the common area, that we can reheat things. But our restaurant bill has become the second largest spending area for us. So in Guatemala, I had very inexpensive prices. So the remaining nights there was $344.68. But then Costa Rica quickly added up. Ironically, we thought that Costa Rica pricing was going to be less expensive than the US, but we found it to be the same as the US. And then we met a couple of guys traveling last night, and they said once you get outside of San Jose, the restaurants are very inexpensive. So we come to find out it was the area that we were staying in that drove up the pricing of restaurants.
Yeah, I think it was more being in a tourist area. The prices are jacked up a little bit, but c'est la vie.
So in Costa Rica, we spent $1,059.94 for a total of $1404.62 on restaurants. So for our shopping category, we're not really big shoppers, picking up big souvenirs or T-shirts or things of that nature. But I do like to have my Christmas ornament from each location. That's something that we've been gathering over the years, and something that I cherish to this day. So each location Costa Rica was $9 and Guatemala was $7.50. So a total of $16.80 for shopping for us. Transportation, which is really equaling our Uber rides and or private taxis. What we've come to, we tried to support the local drivers and use local taxis, but honestly, their prices are more expensive, and didn't feel like it was worth it. So truthfully, we've just continued using Uber both in Guatemala, Costa Rica, and now as we're filming this in Panama. So we had in Costa Rica $107.19, and in Guatemala we had $66.48 for a total of $173.67. I think I missed something. Oh, I skipped a category, sightseeing. So the good news is with us saving money on accommodations, it gives us the ability to do some guided tours through tour companies. So in Guatemala, we did 2 tours of, no, we only did 1 tour, Lake Adelan. Yeah, we only did 1 tour in Guatemala, Lake Adelan.
Correct.
And then in Costa Rica, we did 2 tours, one at the university, touring the campus and seeing flora and fauna with bird watching, and got to see a couple sloths, so I was really excited there. And then we also did a tour of Carrera Park, and once again, just got to see some beautiful nature and had an excellent guide that could do all the bird calls and just really informed about the area. Spoke. It was what, an 8-hour tour, and honestly, he spoke the entire 8 hours with great information. It was really great. So our sightseeing total was $671.50 between those 3 tours in Costa Rica and Guatemala. Then we have our fixed cost, and our healthcare is $304. That's an annualized number divided by 12. That's for the 2 of us. We have our cell phone coverage, which is about $10 per person, so $20 for the month. Our streaming services at $65. And then the cost of supporting YouTube and websites and all that goes in that, and that's about $28 for the month. So our grand total for the month here in Costa Rica, primarily, or excuse me, for the month of February, was $3,695.15. So when Doug will pull up a graphic, he'll show what the January spend was and the February spend. And going from memory, I think we're right at 4,800, give or take, which is just a couple $100 shy of our $4,600 goal. And once again, that will be offsetted here in March as we're in Panama. Once again, using solely points for accommodations. So you'll see that we'll be able to bring well under budget for the month of March. So there you go. That's our spend for February, and look forward to sharing March details, which is right before we head on our cruise. So yay!
Yay. Thank you for watching, and if you found this interesting, please give it a like and subscribe if you want more information. Also, down below, those links for the credit cards, you guys can make some serious points and get your own points accounts topped up so you can come see things like sloths in the trees, leafcutter ants, and of course, the beautiful macaws like we get to see. We're Kim and Doug. Thanks for joining our retirement adventure.